does this sometimes. Woohoo! You guys, look at this little stick bug. Like he actually looks like a little stick. This was right at the time where I started to realize that my headphones no longer worked. So while you are seeing all the things you're not hearing, any of the cool commotion happening, we are at the Devil's Backbone Brewery somewhere south of the Shenandoahs. And it was such a cool place. It was like we thought we were just going to be rolling up to like some brewery, but we actually rolled up to like this compound with like tenting and showers, and they had a whole box of stuff for hikers and like hiker discounts. It was super, super cool, and they were super welcoming. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Go check it out if you're in the area. We are back on trail after the Labor Day weekend, having Michael and his mom come out for the weekend. I didn't do really any filming during that time because I was just really like enjoying having them out here with me. It was really fun. We stayed in Waynesboro and we went to like Basic City Brewing, went to the Outfitter. I got new insoles and we did a day hike, which was really fun. Kind of having them see a little bit about what I'm doing and like what a shelter is and where I stay on trail and that kind of stuff, I think was really good. And just spending time with Michael was really good also. It was hard to say goodbye to him again. It was really hard to say goodbye for the second time. But I'll be back in like 2 months. So that will be helpful. We stayed at the Devil's Backbone Brewery yesterday, and that was really good because yesterday's hike by myself was just really hard. So it was good to be surrounded by friends, and I got to like shower and stuff like that. So, but now I'm sitting next to this beautiful waterfall. You can kind of see it, and I'm planning out. My dad said he's gonna come for the last week, so I'm trying to figure out when the best place for him to join us would be. This web is too small. It would never hold me. Yummy.
I wouldn't need it. The thing's been in this river. I wouldn't.
The new addition to our group is Dan, and he is Sauce's boyfriend. He hiked with us for a few days just south of Waynesboro, and he actually did a super good job, and it was fun to hike with him. So we've hiked the Priest Mountain, and in every shelter there's a logbook where you usually write like different like messages to people behind you or blah, blah, blah. But because we hiked a mountain called the Priest, that means that the shelter, the Priest, has a logbook that's called the Confessional. So you write all of your confessions, and I'm going to read you some from the logbook today.
They're fantastic.
They're fantastic. Can't read that one out loud. Forgive
What? Yes, go back.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. A member of my family confessed to never being iced before. I proceeded to quadruple ice him in one night. We need to 0 the next day. Yesterday, I had to go to the bathroom, and I accidentally dug up someone else's bathroom hole. Worst morning on trail so far.
Oh, damn.
Forgive me, Father, for I have yet to hang my bear bag. Even if offered a line to hang it, I am all set. I have successfully pooed in a stream. That's awful.
Oh my God.
I have successfully pooed in a stream almost every time I had to go without getting caught. Who knows if these are real? I mean,
I hope this one's not real.
God, that sounds awful.
That's bad.
Forgive me, Father, I should really call you more. Bahama Mama. Forgive me, Father, my bladder doesn't seem to work anymore, and I have peed myself twice today. I also think slack packing and yellow blazing is cheating, but I want to aqua blaze. Signed, Hypocrite. I know. I sleep with my food almost every night. My biggest fear on trail is getting a tick near my butthole. Forgive me, Father, for shooting something. I can't read that one. Forgive me, Father, for keeping my secrets. Ooh.
We might have a visitor. Unless that was just an acorn.
The size of a bear.
Let me hold it for you.
Okay, you can hold it for me. Okay. Jug, Phoenix, and Buddha. I'd say forgive me, but I'm not really sorry. We have skipped a few miles here and there lately and enjoyed ourselves way more. P.S. We miss you, Sister Tarzan, Sunshine, and Callie. Okay. Forgive me, Sky Daddy, for I have been naughty.
Sky Daddy.
I, too, shamelessly urinate out of the vestibule of my tent at night.
I've totally thought about doing that.
Oh, yeah. Forgive me, for I have sinned. Father, I'm sorry. I have slept with my food in my tent and in the shelter just so that I can sleep at night. I don't know.
Snack at night?
Snack at night. Snack. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have lied about my hiking plans on certain days to people that I don't want to see again. I have sinned. I have not sinned. I'm an angel. Just kidding. I sleep with my food in my tent, and I hate my bear can. It's officially going home. Okay. No one is confessing on this page.
What's your confession, Spark?
It's for the blog.
That I yellow blazed in the Shenandoahs. I did.
Good job. You're absolved.
Thank you.
Say 5 Hail Marys.
Say 5 Hail Marys. What is yours?
What is mine? Oh no, now I'm on the spot.
I can think
I'm
of
gonna
one.
deflect that and go to Dan. I mean, big clip.
I mean, he only has 3 days of sins to forgive.
Yeah.
I shamelessly
Unfortunately, Dan's confession was too explicit for this vlog.
next to another camper.
Oh my god! Oh no! Shamelessly, he said. Shamelessly.
This involves me, so I guess I'm wrapped up.
Okay, this one sounds good. It says, forgive me, Father, for we have sinned. It's been years since our last confession. Oh, this person's a true
Yes. They know
churchgoer.
this spiel.
We once got off on a road crossing in Yellow Blaze for several miles before jumping back on, and we told everyone that we must have passed them when they were getting water. Also, we burn a lot of our trash. We steal many lignitels? They steal something.
Okay.
I think I took your.
This one guy is top off, kicked a turkey. I am terrified of wild turkeys. Parentheses, self-defense. We will stop super short of our daily goal just to hit restaurants when they're open. We've gotten off trail days early because our phone died. And we've taken unintentional zeros because we were too lazy or hungover to check out of our hotel. We regret nothing.
Yes. No
Oh my god,
regrets.
these are hilarious.
They're long.
Okay, I wonder who else. Let's see if. Let's see.
How do I, switch it?
So stop it. You can stop it because I just do cuts anyway. This looks like. Of course, nobody has signed their real names.
That's crazy.
Glucose. Okay.
Oh, what did glucose write?
I shouldn't say their real names. Forgive me, Father, for I have the following. Buy cigarettes and alcohol for a minor. Not tipping at the all-you-can-eat Italian dinner in the Little Red Hen. Pooing 3 feet from the trail by Mary's Rock. And leaving coffee grounds in the fire pit. If you are headed north, watch out for the ground bees knives. Head up to 3 ridges. There are trekking poles and a water bottle. Okay. Forgive me, Father, for I peed 0 feet off trail. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have apparently offended the wasp hornet gods, as this is the 4th time I have been attacked. Please let me know what penance we need to perform so this doesn't happen again. Amen. And we don't know Bean Pot. Me, Father, for I have sinned whilst trying to rescue some trekking poles from the hornet's nest. I myself lost my remaining pole and a water bottle. So that's the water bottle that Glucose talked about.
Hilarious.
As I was overcome with pain, make the Lord's children behave heading north.
Man, we got you.
I know.
Heading. Have we hit this?
We passed
We
it.
passed it.
Without even seeing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, now I don't know about this one. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been many months since my last confession, and even when I wasn't entirely forthcoming, but you already knew that, numerous times along the trail I have sharted. Never in my own pants, though, always in someone else's. I don't know. Perpetually raspberry, it says. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm the dirtbagger that's stolen so much toilet paper and lots of condiments and jelly, and I'm guilty of it. And I don't bury my poo as deep.
I feel like everybody does that.
I know, these are all the same.
That's like a lame one. And I was like, I need to think of a good one, like a real sin.
a good one.
I'm trying to think.
Beanpole had a huge one. We don't know beanpole or
And I don't
beanpot,
even
but
think yellow blazing or blue blazing is a sin.
I don't either.
You
Forgive
know?
me, Father, for I have sinned. I got a hitch into Front Royal with a guy named Cody, who immediately offered me his pen, lending to my being very stoned. Oh,
Oh, a big pen.
okay.
Yeah.
I asked him what he was doing for the day, and he described something. He was headed out of something, discounted items and gift cards, and returning them at full. Oh, he described something that he had of something, discounted items and gift cards, and returned them at full price at the other locations. This sounded like a shady but legitimate hustle to me, so when he asked if I'd return something for him, I was more than willing, given his generosity. We arrived at the Walmart, and he handed me a pack of sheets and told me to say I paid cash, I don't have the receipt, and I don't know what Walmart I go to. Oh, okay, so he's saying that he buys discounted items and then returns them at Walmart, says he doesn't have a receipt. Okay.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And so he's to go in and say that he paid cash, that he doesn't have the receipt, he doesn't know what Walmart I got them at. To any clean-headed person, this would set off alarm bells. But in my baked state, I thought little of it. I approached the customer service desk, placed down the linens, and repeated my lines. The young girl at the station got a terrified look on her face and said, "These are expensive. I need a manager." The manager arrived and looked at me askew and told me that they exceeded the limit that she could return without a receipt because they were $95. I said, "Thank you," went to do my resupply, and as I was walking out the door, I set off the theft alarm with my $100 almost certainly stolen sheets.
Oh my
Oh no! Cody was also kind enough to introduce me at a gas station to his friend, whom he identified as a high-ranking member of the Aryan Brotherhood.
What?
I don't know. I apologize,
man,
Father,
this
for
is
accidentally
wild.
associating with and embodying myself in the criminal plots of Nazis. Oh no! So a lot of the trees here have this like spider webby looking thing going on, but it's not spider webs. It's moths. You can kind of see all the baby moths in there. Yum. And soon they will hatch and wreak havoc on me and my fellow trail goers. Today started off as kind of like an day, and I'm not really sure why. I kind of like woke up and I let myself sleep in after doing the priest yesterday, and I had such a good sleep. I slept so well, soundless, although last night was a little different because it was the first time that I was at a shelter by myself. Dan and Sauce were at the top of the hill, but it was kind of like before the turnoff at the shelter. So I was the only one in the shelter space by myself. So it was a little hard for me to fall asleep, but I slept all night, which was really cool. But I woke up today and I was just kind of like, I was just, meh. Plus, today I left Sauce because her and Dan are getting shuttled back to Waynesboro and Buena Vista, which is from here, or from our spot last night, was only 20 miles. They're only going 10 miles a day. And I need to average about 14 miles a day to make it to see my dad kind of late October. So it was just weird. Like all day I walked by myself. I saw one human. And yeah, so I was just kind of feeling But then I like came up on my spot that I chose to camp at today, and I was feeling just like so hungry. I was like, I'm so hungry. I just want to eat. I just want to stop here and just eat. I'm so hungry. And I'm looking at the ground and I see an apple and I'm like, oh, nice. So I pick up the apple and I make sure, there's no bugs in it, and I eat the apple, which I do often. I eat the blueberries, I eat the blackberries, whatever. So, and then I keep walking and I see more and more apples, and like the place that my little tent is set up today, you can see my little tent, is just surrounded by apple trees. That guy has a huge apple tree. He's got tons of apples, so I'm snacking on some apples. Hopefully you guys can see that. Snacking on some apples. And so it just ended up being like a really good end of the day, except the fact that to get the apples down, oh my gosh, the saga with my poor nose continues. I'm getting apples down and they won't come out. And of course, all the ones on the bottom branches are taken because people take the low-hanging fruit. So I am trying to get the ones off the top that are red. And as I'm doing that, one lands square on my nose and just bounces off. Oh, there was blood. It was awful. But yeah, I don't know. It just, my poor nose. If I fall on a rock in the White Mountains. Oh, and then after we summited Katahdin, it like swelled up to the size of a balloon, which was like months after, 2 months, maybe a month after I smashed it on that rock. But I got this like huge, just like gross drainage, and it was just super swollen. So I finally got myself some antibiotics, and it hasn't been this like non-swollen in weeks until just now when I dropped an apple on it. Which I was just so hungry. I wasn't thinking, duh. But I got an apple and boiling water. I'm gonna eat. It's only 5, but I think I'm gonna get an early bed tonight. But something about today is just that, I only saw one person, and it was a very like pass by, like hey, and then I don't know. It's just I think it's gonna end up being the fact that in the South at this time, the people I'm going to see are going to be in town, and they're going to be on the weekends. So I don't know. I think I need to make a conscious effort if I'm gonna kind of be out here for a while until Sass catches up with me. I think I need to make a really conscious effort, like for myself, to either get into town more, and just kind of make more of an effort to make it to shelters and see if people are there rather than kind of stealth camping where there's no people. But it's kind of like you sacrifice the really good views like this. Like how pretty. It's this huge meadow. But you sacrifice the views when you go to the shelters a lot of the time, because a lot of the shelters are not really view-worthy locations. They're just kind of somewhere that was easy for the Forest Service to build or something like that. So, I don't know. More to come. It wasn't my typical, it started off as my typical like meh, by myself kind of day. But I just went slow. I took in the views. I'm reading this new audiobook called Where the Crawdads Sing. I can't remember if I've told you about that or not. But it's on Reese Witherspoon's like monthly book club, and it has 5 stars. So when I was originally listening to Outlander, and we've just been stuck on the same event for like hours. So I needed to change of pace. So Where the Crawdads Sing, it's actually really good. And it started off as like kind of like Glass Castle. If you've ever read Glass Castle, it reminds me a lot of Glass Castle. But then there's like a murder twist. So it's not a murder. It's not a mystery book. It's interesting. I don't know. But it is. but it's not. It is a love story. I don't know. I'm only 5 hours in, so I'm like halfway through the book. But yeah, so, okay, well, my water is boiling, so I'm gonna eat and snack, and I'll fill you in more later. Day 2 without sauce. I am finally at my campsite, which is just a site that is flat. And so I can sleep, and I am so done with this day. I saw a large amount of people today in comparison to the last few days. Southbounders I saw included Einstein, Misplaced, she goes by Missy, and Mushroom Man. I also saw a few day hikers actually today. So today I was like using my vocal skills a lot to people. Anyway, so the other thing about through hiking that's just like super important is water, obviously. And with it being so dry right now, all we're hearing from people is that a lot of the reliable sources are dry. So you kind of have to assume that if you find water, that's your water, and your water source at the next place may not be there or good or anything. So today I passed by a creek, and I kind of knew I was going to this space that was up this hill. I originally was going to stay at the bottom of the hill, but I was like, no, because I want to go into Glasgow tomorrow and resupply, but I kind of need to be there a little earlier than, you know, like 5 or 6, so that I can kind of like hit the stores and that kind of stuff and get like a beverage and maybe a barbecue sandwich. I steal candy for a baby for a barbecue sandwich right now. But anyway, so on my Gut Hooks map, it said that, you know, there's this creek that I was at, and that there was also a small creek halfway up the hill, a spring, and then my campsite. So I'm at the creek, and it's so gross. Oh, it's so gross. Like gross. Like I'm not picky about my water, but there was like dead fish and whatever. I filled up. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So then I get to the first, and I'm thinking, okay, this spring has to be flowing. So I haul 4 liters plus my pot, my like cook stove full of water up this hill for a mile to this small creek. The small creek is dry. Awesome. I keep walking. Now remember that like a gallon of water is 8 pounds. So I've got about 4.5, 5 liters of water on top of my regular food supply and my pack. So, and it's the end of the day. And so then I get to the spring, and it's running, and it's awesome, and I empty out all my gross creek water, and I fill it with this delicious spring water. But I still had to carry all of that 5.5 liters, 5 liters, whatever it is, a 1.5 miles, like pretty uphill. And I am exhausted. Like, see how red my shoulders are from carrying? But I'm gonna sleep like a babe tonight. Also, I know I've been sharing a lot about how kind of lonely it is out here in the southern portion since we flipped, and I have a really good friend named Jupiter who I'm pretty sure I've mentioned in a few of my other videos, but I got cell service today, and I was listening to one of her Instagram stories, and she's crying, and she's like, you guys, like, there's just nobody here, and she just flipped. She just started in Harper's Ferry, and she has the goal to also finish by Halloween just like I do, so, but she had said that in order to do that, she's got to push like 20-mile days on average, and I'm like, holy cats, like, 20-mile days for 2 months is just like not our normal style. So I mean, all the luck in the world to her, but she's crying and she's saying how lonely it is and how she hasn't seen anybody, and it was like, oh, it almost made me cry. It's like, you truly do resonate when it's like, okay, yeah, alone time is awesome, but days on end it isn't like so awesome, especially when your only conversations with people are hey, hi, and that's about it. So I did feel bad for her, but I completely empathize with that feeling, and at the same time it's kind of like nice to be validated that it's not just me thinking how how lonely it is. I mean, oh my God, like I'm the only one here. Like there's nothing around me but trees and probably the thousands of deer that are just staring at me. But in other news, I did finish Where the Crawdad Sings. 5 out of 5 stars. Totally recommend. It's kind of like a Glass Castle meets To Kill a Mockingbird. So it's kind of a love story, kind of like a mystery, kind of poor girl grows up in Appalachia, becomes author. So kind of cool. So check it out.